Why is it so hard to do the things we know will change our lives? Whether it's starting that business you've dreamed of, studying for the exam that could shape your future, or committing to getting in shape, your brain often resists. It whispers, "Not now," or "It's too hard." This resistance isn't laziness. It's your mind's natural way of avoiding discomfort and seeking the easy path. But here's a profound truth rooted in Buddhism. True growth happens when we embrace discomfort with mindfulness and intention. The Buddha taught that life's challenges are like a stormy ocean. We can't stop the waves, but we can learn to surf. Similarly, success in life isn't about avoiding hard things. It's about training your mind to face them calmly and persistently. Today we'll explore how to rewire your brain using powerful lessons inspired by both modern neuroscience and timeless Buddhist wisdom. You'll learn how to break free from procrastination, quiet the inner resistance, and unlock the version of yourself that thrives even in the face of challenges. Ask yourself, are you ready to stop seeking shortcuts, embrace the present moment, and take charge of your life? If so, let's begin this journey together. Lesson 1. Start small. Your brain resists hard tasks because it sees them as overwhelming mountains to climb. This reaction comes from the mind's natural tendency to avoid discomfort and seek immediate rewards. But here's the key. You don't have to climb the entire mountain at once. Instead, take one step at a time. In Buddhism, there's a teaching called anatta, or the principle of no self, which reminds us that progress is not about grand, ego-driven accomplishments, but about mindful, consistent effort in the present moment. If you want to write a book, don't focus on the daunting goal of completing hundreds of pages. Start with a single paragraph, a single sentence, even just a single idea. Each small action creates momentum, like drops of water eventually filling a jar. These tiny, manageable steps not only make the task less intimidating, but also build your confidence and discipline over time. With each small victory, your mind begins to see hard tasks as achievable instead of impossible. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Focus on that first step, and the next will come naturally. Momentum is your best ally, and small, consistent actions will carry you further than leaps fueled by fleeting motivation. Lesson 2. Use the power of time. Blocking our minds often wander when faced with hard tasks, making it difficult to focus. This happens because the brain perceives the task as endless, leading to procrastination or distraction. But what if you could train your mind to focus intensely for short periods? This is where time blocking becomes a game changer. Set a timer, say for 25 minutes, and commit to working on just one task during that time. This method, known as the Pomodoro technique, creates a sense of urgency, signaling to your brain, "This is manageable, I can do this." After the timer ends, take a short break and then repeat. In Buddhism, the principle of samadhi, or concentrated meditation, teaches us to direct our full attention to a single point, whether it's the breath, a mantra, or a task. When you focus deeply for a set amount of time, you create clarity and reduce mental clutter. Time blocking allows you to work with intention, breaking the cycle of overwhelm. It's not about how long you work, it's about how focused you are during that time. Over time, these focused sessions strengthen your ability to concentrate, just as meditation builds mental discipline. Try this today. Pick a task you've been avoiding, set a timer for 25 minutes, and give it your undivided attention. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you train your brain to work in focused bursts. Lesson 3. Reframe the challenge. The way you view a hard task can determine whether you tackle it with enthusiasm or avoid it altogether. Often we see challenges as burdens, which triggers resistance in the brain. But what if you could shift your perspective and see those challenges as opportunities for growth? In Buddhism, there's a concept called dukkha, which refers to the discomfort or suffering inherent in life. However, Buddhist teachings encourage us to embrace discomfort as a pathway to enlightenment. When you face a hard task, don't label it as a burden. Instead, see it as a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Instead of saying, "This project is so stressful," reframe it as, "This project is helping me develop my skills." Instead of thinking, "I hate exercising," remind yourself, "This is how I become healthier and more disciplined." When you change your mindset, you shift your brain's focus from fear to opportunity. This positive framing reduces stress and gives you a sense of purpose, making the task feel less daunting. The challenge isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. Approach every hard task with curiosity and gratitude, knowing that each step forward is shaping you into a better version of yourself. Lesson 4. Manage your stress. Stress is one of the biggest barriers to doing hard things. When you're overwhelmed, your brain enters fight or flight mode, making it nearly impossible to think clearly or take action. To tackle challenging tasks, you need to calm your mind and body first. In Buddhism, stress is often tied to attachment, the clinging to outcomes, expectations, or the fear of failure. The practice of mindful breathing teaches us to center ourselves by simply focusing on the breath. This practice lowers stress, quiets the mind, and prepares us to face life's challenges with clarity. Before starting a hard task, take a few moments to pause. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and count each inhale and exhale. Let go of any expectations and focus on the present moment. When your mind is calm, even the hardest tasks feel more manageable. Stress management isn't just about relaxation. It's about creating the mental space needed to focus and act with intention. A calm mind is a powerful mind. When you learn to manage your stress, you'll find the strength to face any challenge head-on. Lesson 5. Build discipline through consistency. When we look at successful individuals, we often see the results of their hard work and dedication, but we rarely see the years of consistent effort that have led them there. It's easy to look at the final product, the polished achievement, and feel that the path to success should be quick and effortless. But true discipline is about understanding that success isn't an overnight event. It's a series of small incremental actions that build over time. Buddhist teachings stress the importance of the middle way, a balanced approach to life. Rather than taking extreme actions, the middle way encourages a path of moderation and steady progress. In terms of discipline, this means finding a rhythm in your efforts, not pushing yourself to exhaustion, but rather embracing the process with patience and consistency. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't rush the growth of the plants. Instead, you water them every day, nurture them, and trust that, in time, they will flourish. Building discipline through consistency requires shifting your mindset away from the need for instant gratification. In today's world, we're conditioned to expect fast results, whether it's getting a quick response on social media, seeing instant progress in our careers, or wanting to lose weight in a matter of weeks. However, as the Buddha teaches, the path to true transformation is gradual and requires persistence. Consider the principle of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Buddhist philosophy, samsara represents the continuous process of growth and change. We don't wake up one day fully enlightened. Instead, we evolve through countless experiences, learning lessons along the way. Discipline works the same way. It's a lifelong journey of small, repeated efforts that shape us over time. Each day of showing up, even if you feel small or insignificant, contributes to your growth, just as each moment of life contributes to your overall spiritual evolution. This approach doesn't just apply to external achievements, but also to personal growth. Developing discipline in one area, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, requires the same consistent, small actions. If you're striving to become more mindful, for instance, start by practicing meditation for 5 minutes a day. Over time, this practice will deepen and broaden, leading to profound mental clarity and emotional resilience. The key is not to rush the process, but to trust it. Let's say you're facing a difficult project, a daunting task that feels far beyond your current capabilities. Instead of focusing on the entire task and becoming overwhelmed, break it down into manageable chunks. Commit to working on one small piece each day, whether it's drafting an outline, researching a topic, or writing a paragraph. The key here is daily, consistent progress, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. As you keep doing this, you'll start to see how much you've accomplished, and the task will no longer feel as overwhelming. Consistency also has the power to reduce the internal battle we face with ourselves. Often, we feel torn between the desire to do something and the resistance we encounter. This push and pull can drain our energy and lead to procrastination. When you build discipline through consistency, you no longer wait for motivation to strike. Instead, you rely on the habit of showing up every day. This habit becomes a non-negotiable part of your routine, and over time, it frees you from the need to battle your own mind. The practice of discipline also helps to cultivate self-compassion. In the process of consistency, there will inevitably be setbacks and moments of failure, but rather than beating yourself up, you learn to accept these as part of the journey. Buddhism teaches the concept of metta, loving kindness. Practicing metta towards yourself means treating yourself with patience and understanding, especially during times when things don't go as planned. Instead of harshly criticizing yourself for not achieving perfection, you approach yourself with kindness, knowing that each day is an opportunity to try again. You don't have to be perfect to build discipline. You just have to keep showing up. It's the simple act of committing to the process, day after day, that compounds into powerful results. You don't have to see huge leaps forward. Rather, you'll notice gradual, steady improvement that over time leads to breakthroughs. The path to success isn't about taking a massive leap once in a while. It's about taking tiny steps every single day. Each moment you dedicate to consistent effort builds your mental and emotional muscle. Over time, you'll find that not only can you handle hard tasks, but you'll thrive in the face of challenges. So, begin today. Commit to showing up every day, no matter how small the effort may seem. Trust in the process of consistency and watch your discipline and your ability to do hard things grow stronger with each passing day. Lesson 6. Embrace discomfort as part of growth. One of the biggest obstacles to doing hard things is that they trigger discomfort in our brains. Our brains are wired for safety, which means they're always looking for ways to avoid discomfort. When faced with something difficult, your brain sees it as a potential threat, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. The feeling of discomfort is your brain's warning system trying to protect you from something that feels risky or unpleasant. It's why we often procrastinate or avoid doing hard things. We'd rather stay comfortable. But what if discomfort wasn't a threat, but a sign that we're growing? What if we could shift our mindset and see discomfort as a necessary part of the process? In Buddhism, there's a key concept called dukkha, which means suffering or dissatisfaction. It's a reminder that life involves challenges, hardship, and discomfort. However, rather than avoiding or resisting suffering, Buddhism teaches that we should understand it, embrace it, and navigate through it. The Buddha taught that suffering is not something we can escape, but something we must learn to accept and work through. In fact, the key to liberation and peace is not avoiding suffering, but understanding it. When we avoid discomfort, we limit our growth. But when we step into discomfort with awareness, we expand and transform. Imagine standing at the edge of a cold pool, hesitant to dive in because of how cold the water feels. The discomfort is real. It's your body's natural response to protect you. But the moment you take the plunge, the cold water isn't as unbearable as you imagined, and soon enough, you're swimming. It's the same with life's hard tasks. The initial discomfort is just your brain's way of trying to keep you from changing, growing, or moving forward. But when you push through, the discomfort fades, and you begin to adjust, adapt, and thrive. Buddhism encourages us to approach discomfort with mindfulness and acceptance. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we feel discomfort, mindfulness helps us acknowledge it without letting it control us. Instead of running from discomfort, we begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. Discomfort tells us that we are challenging ourselves, and it is often in these moments of challenge that we grow the most. Instead of judging yourself for feeling uncomfortable, acknowledge it as part of the process and move forward anyway. The more you practice embracing discomfort, the easier it becomes to face bigger challenges. Think of your muscles. If you want to build strength, you need to push them beyond their current capacity, which creates temporary discomfort. Over time, they grow stronger and more resilient. The same is true for your mind. The more you face discomfort with courage and persistence, the stronger your mental resilience becomes. The key is to understand that discomfort doesn't last forever. It's temporary and often much less intense than our minds make it out to be. When we sit with discomfort, rather than running from it, we realize that we can handle much more than we thought. The next time you face a challenging task, take a deep breath and remind yourself that discomfort is a sign you're on the path to growth. Whether you're starting a new project, trying to learn something new, or pushing yourself physically, remember that discomfort is not something to avoid. It's a powerful signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and moving toward your goals. Over time, as you keep leaning into discomfort, you'll find that it no longer holds the same power over you. Instead of being something that holds you back, discomfort will become something you embrace as a sign of progress. You'll find that you're capable of much more than you initially thought. And as you continue to face and overcome discomfort, you'll see that it's not your enemy. It's your greatest ally on your journey toward growth and success. Lesson 7. Practice patience. Success takes time. In today's world of instant everything, it's easy to forget that real success doesn't happen overnight. Whether we're scrolling through social media, receiving a message instantly, or getting our online orders delivered in just a few hours, we're constantly conditioned to expect things now. But when it comes to tackling difficult tasks and pursuing long-term goals, the reality is very different. Success and personal growth take time, dedication, and above all, patience. Patience is a powerful virtue that the Buddha taught us to cultivate on the path to enlightenment. In Buddhism, patience is known as kshanti in Sanskrit, and it's more than just waiting without getting upset. It's about understanding that everything worthwhile in life requires time and effort. Growth, whether spiritual, personal, or professional, doesn't happen in a snap. Just as a seed requires time, nourishment, and care to grow into a mighty tree, our efforts require patience to transform into success. When you're working towards something important, it's easy to get discouraged when results don't show up immediately. Maybe you've started working out, but after a few weeks, you still don't see the results you expected. Or perhaps you've been studying for an exam and don't feel confident yet. This is where patience becomes critical. It's common to feel frustrated and impatient, but you have to remind yourself that real growth is a process. It doesn't always happen in a straight line. Sometimes progress comes in waves, and at other times it's slower than we expect. But the key is persistence. In Buddhism, we learn to embrace anicca, the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing and nothing stays the same. This means that today's challenges or setbacks will eventually change, and with time, the efforts you're making will bear fruit. Think of it like a river flowing through a rock. It doesn't happen quickly, but over time, the river carves a path through the hardest stone. Your efforts today, even though they might seem small, are laying the foundation for future success. Patience teaches us to focus less on the end goal and more on the journey itself. It's easy to get fixated on where you want to be, but often the real reward is found in the small steps you take each day. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. At first, it looks like nothing is changing, but with each careful strike, the shape begins to emerge. Similarly, every action you take toward your goal, even when it seems insignificant, is shaping you into the person who will eventually achieve that goal. Another powerful aspect of patience is learning to quiet the voice in your head that says, "This isn't working," or "I'm not seeing results." The more you practice patience, the more you realize that the real reward isn't in the outcome, it's in your commitment to keep going. Your ability to stay focused, keep working, and remain dedicated, regardless of how long it takes, is where the true value lies. Buddhism also teaches us about the law of karma, which states that every action has consequences. Every effort, no matter how small, will eventually bear fruit. But just like a farmer who plants seeds and must wait for them to grow, we must trust that our efforts will pay off in time. It's tempting to rush things or expect instant results, but true growth and success require patience and a willingness to trust the process. When you cultivate patience, you free yourself from the constant stress of trying to force things to happen quickly. You can focus on the effort and consistency you put in each day, knowing that in time, the results will come. By embracing patience, you also learn to trust yourself and the process you're following. You learn that success is not about rushing, but about allowing things to unfold naturally. The next time you feel discouraged or impatient, remember that success is a marathon, not a sprint. The small, consistent steps you take today, even if they seem insignificant, are setting the foundation for your future success. The more you practice patience, the more you'll begin to see that your growth and transformation happen in their own time. And in the end, when you've stayed the course, you'll realize that the journey itself, your ability to persevere and trust the process, was the greatest reward of all. And there you have it. 7 powerful lessons to force your brain to do hard things, inspired by timeless Buddhist wisdom. Remember, the journey to growth isn't about perfection or instant results. It's about consistent effort, patience, and embracing the challenges along the way. If you found these lessons helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Buddhism Pathways for more transformative teachings that can help you unlock your fullest potential. Life's greatest rewards come not from avoiding the hard work, but from walking the path with mindfulness and courage. Take a deep breath, trust the process, and keep moving forward, one step at a time. You've got this. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video on Buddhism Pathways. Stay focused, stay patient, and let's continue walking the path to a better life together.